What was the reaction to the what was the reaction from the council in regards to the tobacco bust this week?
Well, the initial reaction was a bit of a surprise on our part, because we didn't expect to see such erroneous information from the SQ. I think that was the real surprise, because there was no raid in the community. It set everybody on guard, and everybody, was alarmed, not just within our community, but outside the community, other First Nations communities. So it was quite disappointing, actually, to see that.
When did you first hear about the raid that was taking place outside of the community?
Actually, I was Facebooked a message. It was from the Gazette. Somebody sent me a copy, what they had posted online, and asking, is this true? So it was very early in the morning, and I didn't even have time to look at anything. So I got on the phone right away with the chief peacekeeper, and I said, I've been given some information, is this accurate? And he said right away, of course not. I knew that too, because I know that the protocol here, they do not execute tobacco warrants. But I informed him that I needed to confirm that, because it was out there.
Right. The opinion on Facebook has been pretty varied. What's the council's position on the information that's going out there on Facebook?
Well, Facebook is a very big tool when it comes to getting out information. And a lot of people take for face value that it's accurate. So for us, it's difficult. We know that it's not always accurate. We could spend a lot of time correcting things, but I mean, there's only so much you can do. So we were lucky enough that the peacekeepers put out a statement right away. K103 had corrected the information right away, and it was able to downplay, the tension that was developing in the community quickly due to social media.
Many other Native communities within the Confederacy and also surrounding the surrounding areas have a different perspective of the legalization of the tobacco trade. Have they reached out to the council office and gave their opinions in terms of what they can offer to the council system here in Kahnawake?
Well, by way of support due to this raid, there was some that contacted us to ask what was actually happening here. They did not take the reports at face value. So we explained that, okay, there was no active raids here, that there were warrants issued for 3 community members. At the time we didn't know, it was 3, but we said for community members. And the protocol would be that our chief peacekeeper would be notified, and then he would notify the individuals, but we wouldn't actively participate in that. And they offered any sort of support that we may need, but we told them at this time everything was under control, and it's something that needs to be dealt with at a governmental level.
Which brings me to my next question. What is the current council's position on the tobacco trade? Has it changed since this particular issue?
No, I mean, if you look at the history of charges, in the media they sensationalize everything. They say, there's drugs, there's guns, there's gangs. But when you look at the charges for the Kahnawake or any First Nations individual, they're all custom and excise charge, really. Unfortunately, the law has been changed and modified to charge them under criminal code, saying that the government is the victim of fraud.
Is that something that is in the Canadian criminal code, or is that a provincial?
It's the Canadian criminal code. Okay. It's been changed so that they can charge them under the criminal code, because it's a little bit different when you're charged under Custom and Excise Act. So they've been able to add, significant jail time to these charges of these individuals, and then they end up, really having a tax situation at the end. It's not a criminal situation, it's really a tax situation.
Really, yeah, it's always in sentences. What is some of the things that have been developed since the last time that we've talked about the development of the the tobacco law process. Has there been any changes, any updates that need to be added to this?
Well, we have a tobacco law that has been submitted to the Kahnawake decision-making process. It's going to have another hearing April 5th. In that hearing, we'll be getting to the Section 6 of the law. So as we go through the law and hopefully finalize it this year, you know, it is something that is for internal use only. It's not going to have any effect on the external governments or policing.
What is your thoughts about the three individuals who are currently in this situation now with the raids that took place on the outside and the warrants that were issued to these community members?
Well, from what I've seen as far as charges, again, it's all related to taxation. There are no charges of guns, drugs, or anything like that. What they're saying now, I guess because, you know, you're doing business with individuals who are doing other things, they're trying to put you under the same umbrella. And it's really unfortunate because it's been happening time and time again where you see the news release, it's all about, you know, tobacco, guns, and drugs, but when the Kahnawake gets to the court system, it's not about anything other than tobacco. Mm-hmm. And they're not part of the gangs, they're not part of any of these associations. It just so happens that they are the buyers of the product, and what they do with that product afterwards is beyond the control of the seller. It's like a pharmacy. When somebody goes into a pharmacy and starts buying different things to make some sort of concoction, is the pharmacist responsible? You know, it's just a retail outlet. They're not responsible for who comes in and buys.
What's going to be the council's position in terms of support or not supporting the three individuals?
Well, we support anybody that's doing business in the tobacco trade. It's a legal trade that we've been utilizing before contact with the non-natives. It's been proven in our history. We've used it for many purposes. We'll continue to use it. We'll continue to fight for our right to conduct business in the tobacco trade. And it's supported by community, not just MCK, by community.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay.